Hello LEGO fans, Bricks Unbound here with a LEGO Harry Potter set review. I guess technically it's the LEGO Wizarding World since the new revival of Harry Potter does include Fantastic Beasts sets as well. This is set number 75956, the Quidditch match. It comes with 500 pieces and in the United States at least retails for $39.99 and was released July 1st, 2018 to Target stores as well as the LEGO shops and LEGO online. So let's take a look at this set. I'm super excited about it just because it's the revival of Harry Potter. It's the first one of these sets I've got my hands on and built. So just a few warnings before we start this. I'm really excited about it, so I'm going to try to keep that bias out of my review, but I can't guarantee it. Also, if you haven't seen the movies or read the books, there'll be spoilers. I mean, they've been out for quite a few years by this point. So hopefully none of this is surprising and there's not super major spoilers in this one. But just in case I say something about ending of movies, be warned, there's spoilers if you haven't seen it, don't know what's going on, and if you care about not having it spoiled, although if you do, you should have probably already watched the movie. Alright. Into the set itself, this is more of half a Quidditch match, really, because you get one half of the field. You have 4 of the stands, 1 for each house, as well as the 3 rings down to score on. Comes with the 4 minifigures, 2 for each side, as well as a Severus Snape figure and a Hermione Granger over here. We'll get to the figures a little bit later. Each of these towers, they look pretty similar, but they are all slightly different. I will start with Gryffindor Tower over here. So you can see there's already something happening. The front of the tower does swing open. That's to represent the characters flying out at the beginning of the match. Or, of course, you can recreate other scenes later on when one of the Gryffindor chasers gets blocked and shoved down into one of the towers and he tumbles out the bottom. So it could work for that, but I do think it is meant to represent when they fly out at the beginning of the match. That is a sticker there placed on one of the clear 4x6 window glass pieces. I really wish they wouldn't have used transparent there. Just given us like a solid red one or a solid yellow one or maybe even a black or white one, although I think red or yellow would have been better. It just looks strange to be able to see through the front of the tower. But that, I mean, works fine. It's just super simple Technic set up there. And they're just the smallest of platforms up top there for Hermione or anyone else watching the match to be sitting. But I think it captures the overall look of the tower pretty well, really. We've also got the other non-attached one here being Slytherin Tower. This one is pretty basic. Those are stickers on the front here, and I like how they have the banner hanging down. You got Snape up front. Just a little bit of foliage down there with a couple of new-ish pieces. Around the back you can see there's a gear here. So if you turn the gear, a little bit of fire shoots up like when Hermione set his robes on fire during the first film and book. And then again the rest of the back is quite plain, but you could have something going on in here. You could store something in there. Maybe the Quidditch cup, so that way you don't lose it when you're not having the set out. Pretty good shaping overall, though, on these towers. And these other 2 towers, the Hufflepuff and Ravenclaw, are attached to the rest of the set here. And they do that just with some Technic arms across the back here. So if you just pop that off, and then you can pull the tower out to the side. It's just all Technic pins. That's just to keep it from falling apart if you are trying to move the set around. And of course you can switch out any of these other towers on the side as well. Again, sticker detailing here. These are all printed round tile pieces. They help keep score. There's a couple extras that I stuck inside this little crate in the middle. You do have Gryffindor. My lighting's a little bad there. Sorry. You do have Gryffindor and Slytherin. Can you see that? Kinda. Just a little crest to represent who's playing in this match. And then around the back there is actually storage for crests for the other 2 houses as well. So there's your Ravenclaw and Hufflepuff. Sorry, I'm still trying to figure out the lighting. This is the first video I've shot in this new Lego room, so working on that. Let me shift this one a little bit. There we go, that helps a bit. But nice that they at least represent all the houses with these in the set. I'll get on to later a couple other things I would have loved to have seen. But I'll just attach that one back. And then we'll move over to Ravenclaw, which of course is my house. Sorely underrepresented in Lego Harry Potter. So hopefully that changes in the new themes. But anyway, this tower is the most basic one. There's not much going on other than what you see here. Stickers on the front, little megaphone up here. This would have been a good spot, although he's in Gryffindor, but to have a little Lee Jordan figure so you could talk to the megaphone to do the announcing. Yeah, super basic. Again, only room for one figure. You could easily modify this though. Just extend the little brown part up a stud and back a stud, and you could have a couple figures sitting there, maybe raise it up a little bit just for some easy modifications. Alright, now for the final section of the set is the actual goal hoops themselves, which have a pretty brilliant play feature, really, built right into them. And it works really well, and it's super simple. So you got Oliver Wood up here. He's on this little stick thing, and then back behind there is this little Technic, or this like bionicle piece, tooth piece, eye piece, whatever you want to call it. But you just twist that, and he goes back and forth to block the hoops, and he lines up pretty perfectly. It'd be real hard to shoot past him unless you're coming in from an angle at these, so good job, Wood, on being able to block those. There's also, I think, some pretty nice detailing actually down here to build it up. Nothing extravagant, but enough that you at least have a little bit of the pitch's floor, or of the Quidditch pitch itself, right? That doesn't include the stands. So the idea here, there's also a little stud shooter mounted over here, which is to shoot bludgers off. So you can have Lucy and Bull knock a bludger at somebody. That would be real hard. That could be a fun game. Try to shoot this so then you can actually hit it with his bat. You're not going to be able to, probably not going to be able to actually hit it so then it hits Wood through the ring like what happens in the film. But it's an interesting little thing that I think the idea is that you could have two people playing this, right? So you've got one person who is Gryffindor. They've got to the control for Wood back here, or moving him back and forth, and they've got maybe their other hand on the little stud shooter, so they're angling that around trying to hit somebody. And then in comes Slytherin Captain Marcus Flint with his ridiculous attachment on the broom. But that's all for play, and if you don't like it on there, take it off, and it looks fine. The idea is that this is his quaffle launcher. So Wood's moving back and forth, you take aim and you fire, and I missed anyway. But that's the idea. It works well enough. It doesn't shoot it super far, just because it has the giant attachment of the quaffle itself on there. My suggestion for anybody displaying this would be to just remove that from his broom, stick the quaffle in his hand, pull off the little stud piece, and there you go. That looks pretty good. You can pull his arm back, so he's ready to chuck that in the hoops. Alright, that pretty much does it for the set. Let's take a look at the minifigures and some of the other features. Alright, we'll start out with the 4 Quidditch players in the set. So from left to right, you have Harry Potter, of course, then Oliver Wood, Lucian Bull, and Marcus Flint. So obviously Harry comes with a new snitch piece, which is what a lot of people are super excited about. I think it looks great. It has just a little peg that sticks out the bottom of it for him to hold on to. And I mean, it's a lot better than just a little single stud like I think they've used before on sets. Oliver Wood comes with just the broom. His and Harry's torsos are exactly the same. And same for the Slytherins. They both have the same torso as each other. I like the little build for the Beaters Club. I think that's pretty perfect. I mean, it's nice and simple, just 2 parts, but Lucy and Bull is ready to knock some heads together with that, or pass it off to Marcus Flint so he can smash some bludgers. They both just come with brooms. Again, this is the attachment that was on the end of Marcus Flint's broom. I think it looks a lot better without it, but if you want to enact the play scenarios that are suggested, it is a fun little thing to mess around with. In front of them, we do get a crate that can hold an extra quaffle that they give you, as well as the extra bludgers. You can fit the quaffle, 2 bludgers, and the snitch in there, so it looks kind of like the movie. Although the quaffle is a little too big to be in the middle, because this little part on top of the treasure chest won't be able to close. But it does its job, holds your extra pieces in there, and then you get the Quidditch cup itself. It's just a plain golden trophy. It would have been kind of cool to see maybe the Hogwarts crest on it or something for a little bit more detail, and another printed piece. Back to the figures, let's get some of their stuff out of the way here. Give you a little bit better look at those torsos. Yeah, I think those look great. It's nice to get 2 of each in the set, so if you were to get multiples, you could build a better sized Quidditch team. Of course, they usually each have 7 players, so that would require at least like 4 of the set, which would be pretty pricey, but we'll get to that here in a little bit. And on the back, they each have a little hood detailing with their house's colors. And there are a few double-sided heads here. Let's face everybody up so you can see them. So on Harry, Oliver Wood does not get one, Lucian Bull does, and Marcus Flint does not. So there's Harry's alternate face, pretty scared expression. Maybe he's about to get smashed in the face by a bludger. And then we've got another scared expression on Lucian Bull's face. Again, maybe he's not doing so hot against the bludgers with his bat. And one last look at the front of these guys. Take them out of the way. In come Hermione Granger and Severus Snape. You do get, the wands do come on these little sprues that have 1 on each side. So you get an extra for each wand, which is always nice, especially if you want to make some mocks, maybe in Ollivanders, or just give them to other students that you create. You have extra wands with every single set that you get. Both of these figures look pretty great. I love the printing on Severus Snape, especially his face. I think that's a pretty good look for him. And then Hermione has a just generic Gryffindor sweater, which again, if you get multiples of the set, is fine, because then you have some more spectators. You just switch out heads and hair around with maybe some of the Quidditch players, although not Harry, since this is a pretty specific face, or Marcus Flint either. Their wands, as you've probably seen in many other videos, you can just rotate them around so they can point forward like they're dueling with somebody or casting a spell, which is pretty fantastic. I love Hermione's new hairpiece too. It's pretty perfect for how she looks in the first couple movies. A nice smiling face there. And around the back, fairly plain on the back of the torsos, but that's fine because who really cares that much about the back? It's nice that we got some detail. And Hermione has her worried face for, oh no, Harry's about to be thrown off his broom. And Snape has his kind of really face. So good looking figures here. Nice to get Snape in a set since he didn't come in the Great Hall. But he does come in the Whomping Willow as well. Now I'll pull the other figures back out here. You can see Harry and Hermione have the short legs, which I think is perfectly fine because they're super young in this set. I guess one other piece I would have changed is Marcus Flint's hair. Don't think represents the character very well, although his face is pretty perfect. All the rest of them, I think, have fine hairdos for the set. Let's move on to my final thoughts. Alright, so for my final thoughts on this set. Overall, I'm really happy with it. It's got a pretty good price on it. I feel $40 for this seems fair. I think you get a nice selection of figures. There would have been a couple I would have switched out, though. I know that they included Snape and Hermione for the action feature of the fire. However, I would have really loved to see Madam Hooch in her referee getup, the white and black uniform she was wearing in the first movie. Additionally, instead of Hermione, I would have switched her out for Lee Jordan, so we could have the announcer. And a Quidditch set's really the only thing that makes sense to have him in, unless they put him in a... I guess, I mean, he's in plenty of other places. He could be in a Gryffindor Common Room set, or even a Hogwarts Express. But they've already done a Hogwarts Express, so that's not going to happen. So I think the Quidditch set is a good spot for him, or of course a CMF line down the road. But yeah, I would have switched out Snape and Hermione for Hooch and Lee Jordan. Other than that, I think the figure selection is fine. It doesn't really bother me that it's only about half a stadium either, because you just buy a second set then, and if they would have included another set of goal hoops, the towers would have been even smaller. As they are, they're very easy to tell what they are, which house they represent. They're just, you know, super underscaled compared to the movie, but that does give you plenty of options for customization, adding it so more people can sit in each stand, which you can probably do just with this set and just a couple other brown parts to build up some more seats in the towers. You could probably get at least a couple figures in each one once you get some more people to flesh it out a bit. And of course, buying multiples of it also makes it easier, or makes it so you can get bigger Quidditch teams, although 4 of them is pushing it a little bit if you wanted to get the full 7 players for each team. One thing I think would have been nice is to include torsos, one for Hufflepuff, one for Ravenclaw, although I understand that's not actually, wouldn't have actually been feasible in this set without making it way more expensive. So maybe in the future we can do Harry Potter battle packs, where perhaps you get the 2 teams who weren't included in this. So you get 2 Ravenclaw players, 2 Hufflepuff players in the battle pack, you know, one of the $15 ones, although of course $12, $13 would be better. But one of the $15 battle packs, like what they do for Star Wars, but with 2 Hufflepuff, 2 Ravenclaw, and then you also get the crate with a Snitch, a Quaffle, a couple of Bludgers, as well as of course all the broomsticks, a Beater's Bat or 2. Then you could really have Gryffindor and Slytherin and everyone playing whoever you wanted them to play, which would be real nice. It's fine that they give you the ability to swap these little banners out, but without the players from the other teams, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to do that. So that does it for about my thoughts on this video. Overall, really liked this set. I do actually have a second one coming to me in the mail that should be here in a couple days, so I am planning on building the second one, setting these up by each other, and seeing what it looks like then. Of course, even then, I'm only going to have 8 towers. I think in the movies, there's like 20 different towers. There's a huge stadium, which of course is ridiculous to think LEGO would have made that for us. But I'm happy with what they did. Let me know what you think down in the comments, and come back for the next one. Thanks for watching.